Here. Hello, Rotus. How you doing?
I'm fine. Good morning, Shokwe. Good morning to all our viewers on YouTube and listeners on the station. Good to be with you all again.
Yes. So youtube.com/smooth 981 FM Lagos. We are streaming live right now, and you can leave your comments up on the live stream to join the conversation, which you can also join on WhatsApp using the number 0809 440 981. And of course, we are on Twitter, hashtag Business Express, and tag us at Smooth 981 FM. And Rotus is at Rotancode. Okay, so Rotus, the big news that we're going to be talking about today is that 40% hike that seems to be in the works when it comes to our GSM operators. Now, this is across what phone calls, data, SMSs.
Yeah, so it's just a proposal. So a letter was written by the telecommunications companies under the cover of the Association of Licensed Telecommunications Operators of Nigeria. I think that's ALTIN. Who wrote a letter to the NCC, the Nigerian Communications Commission. And so they proposed a 40% increase in the cost of calls, cost of SMS and data, according to them, as a result of the rising cost of doing business in the country. So they're looking at the proposal, the price floor of calls increased from, I think, 6 naira 40 kobo to 8 naira 95. The cap on SMS will increase, according to the proposal, from 4 naira to 5 naira 61. And basically, I think the letter was titled "The Impact of the Economic and Security Issues on the Telecommunications Sector." So they've cited the rise in diesel costs, they've cited the impact of recessions, they've cited the war in Ukraine. They basically said that, look, the cost of doing business has increased. And if you think about the telco business model, the base stations, which are where the cell phone towers are that we rely on for our calls to get signals and so on and so forth. Those things that run on diesel generators just almost 24/7 when there's no power. So the cost of doing business for these guys, it's been going on. So I think they have a case. I think they've got, because Nigeria, I mean, not just Nigeria, other countries have price caps on these things to try to protect people, but it's like fuel, right? The price cap on fuel in order to quote unquote protect the poor. Oil marketers are not able to sell at the cost at which, the actual reflective cost. So for the telco operators, I don't know, it's an election year. I don't know if this will be, reviewed or we'll get a response from the Nigerian Communications Commission.
But I don't know, man, when it comes to protecting people from the vagaries of life, there's only so much you can do about protection before it starts to hurt. Because we've seen what happens when it comes to subsidy and petrol and these somehow mysterious scarcity that come up time and time again. What would we see if, the telecoms operators were forced to keep a price that they cannot maintain? With the costs of doing business. I don't know.
Exactly. They've said their operating costs have gone up by almost more than 35%. In fact, in the letter, they talked about the power sector undergoing, its review of its tariffs. I think it was November 2020 or so. And this is the recent tariff increases that are taking place in the power sector. So they're like, hey, look, if you're reviewing tariffs in the power sector, what about us? They said they're requesting an interim administrative review of mobile voice rates and so on and so forth, in order for them to have cost reflective tariffs as well for what they offer. So I think there was recommendations made in an August 2020 KPMG reports on the determination of cost-based pricing for retail broadband service in Nigeria. And they're saying that, look, go back to that report, take a look at it. That was 2020, 2 years later. You should take a look at that and actually understand where we're coming from in terms of cost. Now, for consumers, people will say that, well, we have a lot of dropped calls. There's a lot of, and we're still charged for them. There are, no network whenever we try to get on the internet or send text or, or complete transfers. So the service is not perfect. So the average Nigerian would probably respond to this and say, well, it's not like you have perfect service, and it's not like we get refunds for dropped calls and so on. So
trust me on that. The amount of money I spend on data only for me to, the most annoying thing to see on your phone, apart from the X, is the exclamation mark. That's next to track. You're like, what is this? And I've been seeing that for most of this month, actually.
Right. So, while I'm with them and I understand where the telcos are coming from, I mean, the average Nigerian wages are not going up. So you have to put all this into context that, it's only Governor Obaseki in those states who just recently reviewed upwards the minimum wage in Edo State from 30,000 naira to 40,000 naira. We haven't seen that since COVID started. I haven't seen that anywhere else. States are even struggling to implement
it up with the current.
So, think about which companies, private, public, are increasing salaries across the country. It's minimal, right? So wages are not keeping up with inflation. Costs are going up. The average Nigerian, food, transportation, those two big headwinds, those costs are rising. You now want to add telco services, and telco services are vital to businesses, to individuals, hospitals, schools. I mean, the entire country runs on that. Oh, by the way, 5G license, federal government, NCC has awarded. I mean, I know they won the bids, but now they've actually completed the project process of awarding the 5G licenses to Mafab and MTN Nigeria. So while we're talking about telcos and stuff, but yeah, so that's the situation.
Hold on, Rotus. Let me just read this message because we had talked about this yesterday, but no, you didn't. So Benga Kamu says, Rotus, we thought you would come with good news today. Everyone is friendly. Because you said that yesterday. You would try and find some good news.
I try. I'm so sorry. I tried. Maybe Tech Friday will have some good news. I tried to find some.
Now, Benga goes on to say everyone is feeling the heat in Nigeria. Unfortunately, Nigerians are stressed already. And a message in from Ogene Ochuko says, this energy can only be resolved if power is decentralized. I've watched several documentaries about solar panel systems powering several thousand homes and farms.
Yep. So,
okay,
and I think a constitutional thing.
And Yinka Bolu says, war in Ukraine with caps locks and many, many question marks. I knew this would happen when some telcos claimed they were giving free calls to family and friends that were stuck in Ukraine. We understand that the price and cost of things have gone up globally, no doubt, but should we, the consumers, be the only ones taking the hit? How about they also bear part of the hit too? Can't they reduce their own profits too? Actually, this is an interesting one because I was watching, Late Night with Trevor Noah, and he actually brought up this thing of this soda company called Arizona, I think it was, where everybody else was increasing their prices and all whatnot. And they were like, no, we will maintain the exact same amount that we sell to you at the exact same price. We can take a bit of the hits. We're making profits. It's okay. And so that was quite an interesting one to see that, hey, you know what? People cannot be declaring bumper profits, when people are actual citizens are struggling. Anyway, sorry, Yinka goes on to say, Shoka, I have an unlimited fiber network at home and I'm constantly hooked up to wireless at work, but strangely, I still spend 4,000 naira on mobile data. This increase is not adding up.
Yeah, look, I mean, the thing is, if your costs are going up by double digits, by 35%, I mean, and you are capped, the issue though is that capped. So it's again, I understand where Yinka is coming from the average Nigerian who is using data service, but doing business here is not easy. It's expensive, and and the war in Ukraine has pushed up energy costs. And again, those base stations, those massive base stations that you see, it costs money to keep those things running. If a base station breaks down, then we're knocked out. I mean, that's how you invade a country. You knock out its telecommunication services. I mean, have you seen what is it like when your phone, you can't make a call? Look at this NIN SIM blockage thing. It can put you in a panic if all of a sudden you can't get any internet, you can't call. The country runs on telecommunications. Healthcare depends on it. Everybody, banking. I mean, that is the fiber of our being as a civilized nation. So if your costs are going up by 35%, I mean, for you to not want to increase what the cost of offering that service, that is, to pushing it on to the consumer, what are you going to do? So it's just it's a give and take. It's an in and out thing.
I think Yinka is saying, can we do half and half?
Huh?
I think Yinka is saying, can we do half and half? Not just
half and half.
everything on the consumer. Let's share the burden of, the cost increase.
That's a good point. If they're advocating for, the thing is, if my costs have gone up by 35%, I've got to raise what I'm offering by that same margin. If not, they are losing as a business. So I don't know, maybe, do you think now it falls on governments whose job is it to make sure we have power?
I'm going to ask you questions. If you raise your cost by that amount and your subscribers go down by that amount, because at the end of the day, it's going to have to come out somewhere if people's salaries are not going up. Yeah. Businesses already have cost of operations going up. To now add an increased wage bill, we can already see that's not going to happen. But then at the end of the day, it's the individual person, which then translates to the masses who are still with the same exact amount of money that they were earning last year, the year before, and somehow their cost of living has gone up. I don't even know how to calculate the percentage at this point, because it's varying from, thing to thing.
It does. But the thing is, as far as subscribers going down, this is the association that is representing all the telcos. So if it was just one that was saying, I want to raise our costs, people will just port and go to another one. This one is all of them. So there's really nowhere for you to go, because in every single...
less calls. You just be like, which of my family members do I love the least? I will stop.
But you do have a point in that if people, because I still know people that shut off their data at night, which I don't know, that one, I understand why, to save costs, kind of dangerous to shut off your data, which are saving money, yes. But anyway, people are taking measures. You might make less calls, you might shut off your data in the afternoon, you might, stop sending SMS text messages unless it's an emergency. If costs go up, the consumer will actually make decisions that will reduce the revenues of the telco operators. Just, shut off your apps, turn them off, maybe even turn the phone off. To do that in this day and age is a little scary.
To be honest, though, what's a phone without data? So you might as well. Save you the cost of charging the battery. We've got this one in. Ahmed from Ogudu says, just to end the show, Ahmed from Ogudu says, every institution is claiming an increase in the cost of operations as the basis of their increase in prices. But if we look at the cause, it's actually from the government, and the government is showing a nonchalant attitude to the increasing cost of items every day. Everything will still fall on the final consumers. What about the employees that cannot demand for increase on salaries?
Exactly. Yeah. Excellent point. It's the government has to do better about power supply and about getting us to reduce what we pay for power. So we've been on this power thing for so long. It's just, again, power like telcos. That one is even more embedded in operations of this entire country than anything else. To solve power, solve a whole lot of Nigeria's issues.
Oh my days, it reminds me of Heroes. Save the cheerleader, save the world. Solve power, solve everything else. All right, and that is that for Business Express for today. Join Rotus on Twitter, where he'll be keeping you updated with what he does, because he does a lot outside of this. He's at Rotanquote. They'll see you on Twitter, Rotus. And of course, we are at Smooth 981 FM. Rotus, tomorrow is Tech Friday. You have your job, okay? You got the mandate. Positivity, man. Okay.
We must.